Good evening. Welcome to Shop Live with Mimi and Russ. Mimi's going to join us later because you can tell she's not sitting beside me
That's
now.
right. Friend night.
Joining us tonight is our dear friend and local artist, which is what we're featuring right now during this segment, is Made in North Carolina. This is our friend Dan Dye. We've known Dan for
40
years.
30, yeah.
Been a long
bunch
time.
of years.
Dan,
Decades.
Dan is a silversmith and very acclaimed. He's done some wonderful designs, and you may recognize him if you go to the North Carolina State Fair. He is one of the artists that works in the Village of Yesteryear and has done that for how long?
This will be my 39th year coming up in 2 weeks.
That's amazing.
Started in '86.
And what's the date of the fair this year, Dan?
It's October 17 through 27.
So 10 days coming up in about the 17th this month, so make sure you get a chance to go to the fair. Stop by the Village of Yesteryear and you can see Dan and meet him personally. And
Yeah.
he's brought some of his items tonight. He's going to show and talk a little bit more about that with us. So tonight what our plan is to spend some time with Dan. After that, we're going to go to our daughter Gabrielle. She does our carrots and cocktails, which is our famous drink segment we like to do. And after that, Mimi's going to join me, and we're going to show you some jewelry and talk about some things that are going on in the fall. And again, our Made in North Carolina series, we're going to try to feature a local artist for the next few weeks leading up to the holidays, and we hope you'll join us each week. Please like and share. It helps us. And if you have friends or family that you would like to share what we do, think they would enjoy it, please let them know about it. So for now, let's talk to our friend Dan. Excuse me, I got some frogs tonight in my throat.
Yeah.
But Dan, as I said, Dan's a silversmith. I mostly work in gold and platinum, but he works in silver, and I'll let him tell you a little bit about his history and his philosophy and what he likes to create with his art.
Well, I thank you, Russ. I appreciate being invited today and tonight. And it's fun to me to get a format like this where I can show and tell and talk, and that's one of the things.
Not as dusty as the state fair.
Not as dusty, and I don't have to wear funny clothes. It's now the schedule here is a lot better too. I'm doing 11, 12-hour days in a row.
That's very, very tough.
And when I started at the age of 36, that was tough enough. Now that I'm an old guy, the recovery is a whole lot longer than it used to be. But I still do it because I love it.
And you're also
I love
working.
being there.
You're making pieces.
I'm making things there.
designing while
This
you're there.
hammer that belonged to my wife's great grandfather, who was a goldsmith in New York City in like 1904. This is one of his hammers, and I'll have this out there with me.
Pretty cool.
This and
Multiple
I
others.
have a total of 20 hammers,
There's a few.
and
of
they
your
all do
styles.
different things. That's
Exactly.
right. Depending upon what I'm doing, what I'm texturing, I use a different hammer to do different things. So
Yeah, we do a lot of casting. We do a lot of wax work,
Mm-hmm.
and we cast pieces. Whereas Dan literally hand makes, hand forges, assembles pieces. He takes wire and creates different shapes and pieces from them, fuses them together, welds them together, and as he'll show you, some really creative pieces, some really beautiful. I love the pieces. He's getting ready to pick up
yeah,
classic North Carolina dogwood flower.
this is the dogwood flower.
It's beautiful.
Right there, okay. I like to make these in the spring when I can go out and pick one off of one of my trees and use that as my template. Over the years, I've been making dogwoods for, 20, 25 years. And every time I do something like this, I notice a new detail that I hadn't really thought about. And so over time, they have gotten a little more detailed, a little more sophisticated. The center of it, those are actually the flowers of a dogwood, the little tiny yellow little 4-pronged flowers. When they first start out, they're little buds. And so I made these are fine silver, which is pure silver, so they maintain their little round shapes when I put them all together. The petals on this are sheet silver, which I saw out with a jewelry saw.
A little bit of time involved.
A
in
little
that.
time involved, cut them out, then I take this cross-peen hammer and I put them on a stump that I have at home and I hammer all the way across because there's real fine veining on the surface of a dogwood.
Yep.
So I hammer it from behind so it's a little more muted.
It's amazing how realistic this piece looks.
Well, it's funny,
incredible.
I've had people at the fair, I've had good old boys come up with their overalls on, and had one some years ago. He came up and he's looking at my flowers and he said, "Tell me, how do you dip your flowers?" Well, I don't dip my flowers, you know. I'm hand fabricating them. So this is a trillium. It's a mountain wildflower. That's another favorite of mine.
Really pretty.
That has trilliums have a long stalk, and then they have three series of 3 leaves, 3 petals, has 6 stamen in it. It's everything's in threes. So
Wow.
hence the name trillium.
It's a beautiful piece.
You see them up in the mountains. They're white. There some that are yellow. Some are kind of a burgundy red. They're beautiful flowers. I love them.
You know, these are he makes these, I guess, as to be worn as pins, but
Yes.
they also, you know, those could be beautiful decorations for a table, like arrangement around flowers. You put those with the real flowers.
Funny thing you say that. I have a series of napkin rings.
I was going to say,
that
yeah,
I
something
made.
like that. That would be really neat.
We
to
have
do
some
that.
in our collection. I had some people that collected them from me for several years.
Yeah.
My dad was a daffodil aficionado, and he had 150 varieties of daffodils. Who knew there were that many?
Had no clue.
So in Dad's honor, I made a candle snuffer, and the trumpet of the daffodil is the snuffer part of the candle
Very
snuffer.
cool. That's pretty.
And it's about this tall. That's on our table at home
Very cool.
for holidays. It's you don't
Those are really beautiful
you
pieces.
don't do it with hot dogs and baked beans. But,
Oh yeah.
so yeah.
Really
So
incredible.
everything that I make, though, I use sheet silver and I use wire, sterling silver. The type of silver that I've been using for about the last 15 years is called Argentium sterling. It's was invented or formulated about 30 years ago by 2 guys from England, and they were trying to make a sterling that wouldn't oxidize as
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the big problems with sterling silver. The typical alloy is 92.5% silver and 7.5% copper, and both of which oxidize very
Oxidize
readily,
badly, yeah.
and particularly the copper turns dark.
Yeah.
So what they did, they actually had 94% silver, so it's a little purer. It has 1.5% germanium, which is a metal it's an element, GR on the periodic table from your high school chemistry days. Well back. And then that leaves 3.5% copper. So by adding in the germanium, which doesn't oxidize, that's one of the features of that element, and decreasing the copper, it makes the silver stay a lot brighter. And the other thing I like about it is that I don't have to solder a lot of things together. I can fuse it together. Like this necklace, this choker, is just sterling wire that I twisted and melted together. So there's not a drop of solder in that. So that when that says 94% silver, it is 94% silver. Let's see.
You ever use continuum silver? It's another one that doesn't oxidize as much.
I haven't used that. Who makes that?
Stellar's one of the companies that does. A couple of them do it,
Stellar,
but it's called Continuum.
Okay.
It doesn't tend to tarnish. It's a little whiter and it's actually slightly harder. So
Yeah.
silver, you don't typically set a lot of gemstones in it, a lot of
Right.
diamonds and things. It
That's
doesn't-
right.
You can't do small prongs,
Yeah.
but this particular silver is a little bit harder. So
Yeah.
it's kind
Might
of
hold
fun
up
to try.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll hold up a little bit.
Yeah, I think what's the one up in Virginia in
Hoover and
Richmond?
Strong.
Hoover and Strong. They have one true silver they call
Yeah.
it, and I've used some of that before I got into doing Argentium. I've just gotten used to this. I
Well,
haven't
if it works, don't
used
mess with
it
it.
exactly. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right.
But
I looked up Argentium. It says it's been available since 1991.
yeah, so about 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. This bracelet, for instance, that's all Argentium, and that's all. I twisted it and then melted it, fused it together, and did it on a flat ceramic plate. And then once I got it shaped the way I wanted it, then I bed it and then polished it.
Yeah. Hold it in front of the camera just.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's a beautiful bracelet.
Which to right here?
Yeah.
Down just a little bit. Yeah, you're good.
All right there. And it has
I love the shape of that.
all these kind of fun curlicues on it. I just let my imagination roll. People ask me if I draw things, and yeah, I can do a sketch, but the metal talks to me while I'm bending it.
I say the
Well, you
exact
had to be
same
in
thing.
a happy
That's funny.
mood that day, cause that,
Yeah.
I just feel like it's a happy piece.
That's right. Well, look at all the smiles on there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
you know,
feel it, you kind of feel it as
That's
you do
right.
it. You know, it
well,
feels right.
Exactly, and you know, you'll in your head you're drawing something, but then when you start manipulating the
looks
metal, it
better.
kind of talks to you and
It
says,
looks
"I
better
don't want
this
to go
way."
that way. I want to go this way."
Yeah,
So we don't argue with
I
the metal.
agree. I agree.
100%. Metal and wives, you don't argue with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
You need that on a t-shirt.
yeah, that's right. It'd be a good T-shirt, wouldn't it? Now this is a necklace that I designed, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. But it's made with half round wire, this flat dome wire they call it, and then round wire, this 8-gauge heavy. And I like it's real smooth and kind of sculptural, and it's beautiful around somebody's neck. So I've got a
You kind of
necklace
shape
made
it to the
that way.
contour of the person's
That's
body
right.
shape too.
Did
You
you
really
feel
do a lot with
the
that.
weight, the heft of the
Yeah,
silver?
there's some. I think this is 3 ounces of silver in this.
It has a great feel.
I made a ring in the same kind of thing and this is open here, so depending upon who comes up and likes this at the fair, then I can adjust it to fit their finger. I have one lady that I sold one of these 2 years ago, who lives out in San Francisco, and she put it on, and I designed it to go like that and fit up and kind of go over the knuckle. But when she first put it on, she said, "I'm gonna wear it like that when I'm going to the car at night. Somebody tries to attack me," and so
Got a weapon.
so we nicknamed it the Claw,
No,
and so she has her claw ring,
that's smart.
and yeah, so that was kind of an interesting development that I hadn't counted on. There's a bracelet here I made with the same 2 pieces of wire
Nice
stock,
looking, very nice.
and
looking.
it's sculptural and kind of sleek.
All your pieces are very, very fashionable, very wearable pieces.
Mm-hmm.
From what I see here, I love them. They're really nicely made.
thank you.
The dragonfly, I thought
Yeah.
it was real for a minute, except,
Yeah.
except for the color.
Yeah, how you dig your dragonflies? Yeah, yeah. I've had somebody ask me, they were dragonfly fans,
Yeah.
asked me if I could make one, and I had not done that. So I thought, well, yeah, I can look it up in my insect book, and so I did. This is actually the 3rd one I've made now, and I've gotten real smart on it. You know, the wings of a dragonfly are kind of like little stained glass windows. They're clear, but little tiny panes. So what I did, I have a rolling mill. I think you have a rolling mill
Oh,
here.
yeah.
And I crushed this lace into the silver with the rolling mill. Now it flattens it out. So I put a piece on each side, so both sides are textured. And I just think it looks really neat. And then the tail of it, the abdomen of it, is made from individual pieces of argentium silver that I fused together to give them that segmented kind of
It
appearance.
really does. It looks like they're winged. really.
Look like little wings. Yeah. I didn't put the legs on it because that would be difficult to wear. but,
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
What
all
other
this will-
materials besides the lace have you used to?
Well, actually, I have let's see, where'd they go? Oh, got some earrings here. If I can find this one. This has a kind of a window pane sort of, or is that the picture? Am I in the right place? That actually is a plastic bag from the grocery store that we brought home some carrots in. And again, it destroys the plastic bag when I crush it through the rolling mill.
But you can afford to get
But
another.
I can buy. Yeah, I got plenty of plastic bags. So that was from that. Whoops.
Excuse me.
Here's another kind of bag that was from the grocery store. I just like the texture of that. For this pair of earrings, let me get the wire in there.
You could just spend a day being like the mad pattern maker with
Oh yeah, yeah.
whatever's laying around.
See, there's. I've got it twisted up. Can you see that? And then I fused a piece of sterling wire along the edge. That's what that round part is.
So you would have used
It's
the
attached.
sheet metal like you were showing earlier.
Yeah, I would have cut it out of the sheet metal, and once I get the piece cut out, then I roll it through the rolling mill, and then attach the sterling wire to the side.
How thick is it?
That's 20 gauge. I can't tell you the thickness, but that's 20 gauge. I
When
have
you roll
some.
it out, it gets a little thinner. You can
Little
actually
bit
roll it.
thinner.
You can get thicker and thinner and roll into
That's
different
right.
gauges. and-
Yep, yep. I have some
feels.
16 gauge that I use for heavier rings or bracelets or that kind of thing, but 20 is a good go-round gauge to have. This is a ring that I did with a pearl in it, a dark brown pearl, and it has, let's see if I'm in the right place. Is that the right
That's
spot?
good. That's good.
Okay. That's a freshwater pearl from China. It's drilled, half drilled, so there's a peg that I soldered into the back of the ring, and then goes up into a hole, and that's super glued on to keep it on the peg, and then these fingers come around and kind of grip it too. So
We've talked about pearls. and
securely mounted.
Men are wearing pearls now, so that could be
Really?
a unisex doll. We'll see if we
Oh.
can sell it to a man at the state fair.
Well, it's a big ring.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure that Liberace's not still alive, so I don't know. Yeah.
Some
Elton John wear it.
entertainer.
Oh yeah, Elton John. But I left it open on the side, so again I can adjust it to fit
Smart.
whoever walks up.
You've done this for a while.
Yeah, it's interesting. I had a lady at the fair over 20 years ago who was from Sanford, and she came up. She was interested in a ring, but she had really crippling arthritis, had big knuckles, and she said, "I need a ring that I can get on over this big knuckle,
Yeah.
and then squeeze it down." And since then, I have found some hinge pieces, things that you can buy to make those rings. But I came up with this idea, and I made it out of lighter wire. This would be hard for her to squeeze, but Mildred Thomas was her name. And I made her several rings, and it just became part of my regular
There
collection.
you go. And
'Cause
necessity was the mother of invention.
exactly, that's I think a lot of the best things that you come up with. That's how you come
That's
up
what
with.
real jewels come up with. They figure out things that need to work for somebody.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
They're smart.
everybody figures something out, and we don't all have the benefit of working for somebody else who already knows how to do it all.
Yeah.
Like Gabriella could do that, working for Papa.
Old pops.
Yeah, but it's fun to let your imagination go and figure out things to do.
Well, you've got some incredible pieces.
One more thing
We
here,
really
I think is
enjoyed
kind of
seeing
fun. Jellyfish for people down at the beach. That's a piece of moonstone, and since the jellyfish, the tentacles kind of
Uh-huh.
sway in the waves.
And sting you, yeah.
Oh, and do that. Yeah, they're terrible for that.
Russ, will you
I've been
reintroduce Dan? We've got a few new people coming on.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
yeah.
If you just joined us tonight, we are talking about Made in Carolina. We're starting about featuring some of our local artists, and this is a dear friend of ours who we just realized we've known for about 39, 40 years. Dan Dye. He's a silversmith here in Raleigh, North Carolina, and Dan's getting ready to be at the North Carolina State Fair on October the 17th through the 27th at the Village of Yesteryear, where there's a lot of Made in Carolina, North Carolina local artists. They'll be showing their wares, but if you're out there, go by and see Dan, meet him personally. He's got some incredible handmade silver jewelry that he's really developed over the many years, and his technique and his craftsmanship and design are they're phenomenal. So
thank
go
you.
check Dan
He's
out.
also, he paints, you just got a lot of facets of your artistic talent. So
Thank you. I enjoy all of those things. I've been painting all my life. In fact, I found two little pictures that I have in my studio that my mother had saved from my kindergarten years. A little drawing I did of a bunny rabbit and an Easter egg,
oh,
and
I
two
love that.
two
That's my
different
favorite
ones.
season
And
of
she
the
had
year.
written on the back of it that Danny made this at the age of 5, and I thought, man, that's
Cool.
Nobody's called me Danny, and
Well, you need
Forever.
to go do another drawing now in honor
Well,
of that. So
yeah.
your newest version.
maybe I need to do the
You-
Easter bunnies.
Yeah, that's the old man Dan, right?
Yeah, that's
not,
right.
Not Danny, but old man Dan.
That's right. Well, I've added 7 decades to that. So
There you go.
yeah,
Tell me a little bit about, we were talking about the lariats before they came on.
yeah. Mimi's wearing some turquoise over there tonight, and it's beautiful stuff. And I've always loved turquoise. This is a piece of turquoise that I bought from a friend who lives down in Cerrillos, New Mexico, which you've never heard of. It's about 25 miles south of Santa Fe. off what's called the Turquoise Trail. And it's been an area where they mined turquoise for centuries, the Native Americans. Well, I got this from this friend, Andy Brown, and he actually bought this from a Mexican mine just over the New Mexico border. And the town is, let's see, someplace called Sonora, Mexico.
Yeah, that's northwest, I believe.
Yep. This has some iron pyrite in it, as well as the turquoise and a kind of a black stone,
Beautiful, it's so
which
organic.
I had never seen anything like that. So when Andy posted some pictures of this stuff, I got to have some of that. So I bought a few pieces of it.
Interesting blue, it's,
And yeah, it's a kind of a rich blue. And then I'm wearing one that I made also for sale.
what do these sell for, by the way?
That
If
is,
somebody's wondering what
let's
things,
see, this one's 300. That one's a little less than that, I think.
a little less, yeah.
This is a stone that I found at the stone market at the fairgrounds decades ago. It's called Salama-Lane. I bought it from this lady and I asked her what it was. It had this kind of banded texture appearance to it. And I said, "What is that stuff?" And well, she was a native of Russia, so she has this heavy Russian accent. Lives in Greensboro, and runs a stone circuit. And she said, "Well, it's Salama-Lane." Well, how do you spell that? Well, she couldn't spell it. She didn't know. So I went home and thought, well, I'll just Google it and find out. Well, turns out there's a silent P on it, like psychology or psychiatrist. It's Psilomele.
Okay,
Salama-Lane. And it's a manganese oxide formed deep in the ocean under heavy pressure and a lot of time. And I just thought it was a cool stone. So
I haven't found any of that washed up on Holden Beach.
yeah, I don't think you will. It's actually, I think it actually is mined in England.
It's really cool,
But
if you can see it, it's almost got like fingerprint swirls in it.
yeah, or like wood grain
Yeah,
or
wood
something.
grain, yeah.
So that's why I engraved on the back. It has some character to
Yeah,
that.
it's got some texture on the back.
I mean, you're going to have that flipped over when you're wearing that as a bolo, but
I love your attention to detail.
well, it's just, the back ought to be as interesting as the front, in my opinion.
Don't leave anything untouched.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Speaking of unique pieces, you were showing us this.
Yeah.
This was, we're trying to figure out what this stone was. So we were all sitting there trying to figure it out, and come to find out, it's a piece of petrified wood from Johnston County, which to me kind of made sense. It's probably could be someone's old keg from way back. Or
It's
something.
whiskey still or something. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't.
It's a cool texture. It's really neat.
Yeah, it's interesting that you don't have to go somewhere like New Mexico
Yeah, right
to
here.
find interesting stone. There's interesting stone right here. I have some more pieces that I'll have with me at fair. Some agate that's kind of a reddish color, and you can kind of see through it. And it was found on the Lake Boone Trail by the same guy, this guy Chris.
Well, I was just reading about Johnson County with the new loop of the road. They found thousands and thousands of artifacts.
Yes.
That they're going to actually put on display at one of the state museums.
Do you remember how old they were? I was fascinated by that.
I don't know if I
Went up to 5,000 years ago.
isn't that something?
Isn't that remarkable?
I know.
We have a daughter who's a maritime archaeologist and has done a lot of excavations. She does mostly water stuff now, but she did an excavation on a mound in Nashville, Tennessee, years ago. Turned out it was an Indian burial ground. And there were skeletons that were still articulated, still together, that were 3,000 to 5,000 years old, because they had put limestone cap over the top of them to just keep wild animals out, and limestone preserved the
Oh, it's
skeletons.
fascinating.
So you don't think about people being here that far back, but they were.
You know, we started Made in North Carolina, and we did talk at one of our shows last year about the gemstones and resources that are available in North Carolina. We didn't come across petrified wood from Johnson County last year, but is
We do have a lot of
fascinating.
emeralds, we have
A lot of them.
garnets.
That's right.
And
Lots of
yes,
beautiful gemstones in
Yeah, up
there.
there,
nice
hidden
garnets.
night and up in the mountains where they're having such terrible trouble now
Yes.
with the hurricane. We're all thinking about that, but yeah, that's for a long time been a major source of that kind of stone.
Matter of fact, in Tiffany in the main store in New York, there's a big, large emerald used to be in their showcase, and it was from Hiddenite, from
Was it
North
really?
Carolina. Yeah, it said right on there, North Carolina, one of the largest emeralds, very valuable stone too.
Oh,
I don't know if it's still being shown there or not, or they sold it or what.
Yeah, wow.
So anyway,
Well,
we want to thank you, Dan, and again, hope you guys will get a chance to go to the North Carolina State Fair. And if you do, go to the Village of Yesteryear.
that's right.
Check out all the artists. That again, everything is made in North Carolina. You'll see some incredible pieces. They get to wear these funny clothes, so you get to laugh at them a little bit too. And go by
Yeah, we have painters and potters and basket makers and weavers and
making good apple cider.
good apple cider. We got a gunsmith that makes black powder muskets.
Yeah.
Got a man that does, he's a master knife smith, does beautiful knives, and just interesting collection of different artists and craftsmen.
And I hope and pray all your mountain craftsmen will be able to.
Oh, I hope so. I'm concerned about them because a lot of them, we've heard from most of them now, but we don't know what kind of situation they're in, whether they're going to be able to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to
Hopefully they
have a
come.
major effect on the whole economy up
Hopefully
there.
they get to come, but
I hope
you'll
so.
you'll go and support these people,
Please.
help them buy their arts,
Yeah.
buy their wares, because they need to get back on their feet. A lot of these people lost their homes and everything. So.
That's right. Yeah.
But if you get to the state fair, please go by the Village of
Yeah.
Yesteryear. Check out our friend Dan Dye and look at the beautiful creations that he has made. And if you want something done, talk to him. He'll make it for you.
Sure. And tell me you saw me on the video here.
Live.
Say, hey, I saw you on video. You're almost articulate. Almost.
Almost. So now we're going to go to our carrots and cocktails. Thanks again, Dan.
Oh yeah,
Always good to
Thanks,
see you,
Russ.
my friend.
Yeah.
We're going to go to our segment of carrots and cocktails with Gabrielle. She's got one of the ladies' favorite drinks tonight to show you how to make and enjoy. So we'll let her take it away, and we'll come back with Mimi.
Oh, hey there, and welcome back to Carrots and Cocktails. I'm your host, Gabrielle. Today, we're going to be doing a Millennial Essential Martini. This is what you get with your girlfriends before you have a night out on the town. Get your blood flowing, get your little caffeine buzz, as well as maybe a little another buzz. But it is the Espresso Martini, so let us learn how to make it. First things first, you need the base. Go ahead and make you a shot, which is about an ounce of fresh made espresso. And make sure it cools for a few minutes. This will be a very quintessential step for mixing. Next, grab your shaker with your cooled espresso. When the espresso is cooler, it will froth better. You'll see in the end. First, we're going to need about a half an ounce of simple syrup. You can add less if you'd like it a little less sweet. Add more if you like it sweeter. Next, we are going to take vodka. This could also be really delicious with the bourbon, and I almost made it with bourbon, but we're going to stick to the OG today. So you need about an ounce and a half of vodka, whatever your favorite is. Ounce and a half. If you want stronger, throw a little more. And next, you're going to need a coffee liqueur. I am choosing Kahlua today. So you need about an ounce of that. That's going to help amp up that coffee flavor even more. All right. Now, you just add your ice in a very sped up fashion, and this is important. You need to shake and shake and shake this thing. We're speeding this up for the sake of time. Give it about 30 seconds hard shake. You want that froth to develop. Next, grab your nice and cooled frosted coupe glass. Coupes are my favorite. They're easy to transport. And pour in your delicious espresso martini. Look at that color. That's the right color. And do you see that froth? That's what we want, people. It's perfect. Yum! And voila! That is how it should look. Nice and frothy, but nice and dark in color. Let's give her a taste. That's what's important here. Delish. If you want a little less sweet, add just a little bit less simple syrup, but I promise you this is strong enough. It's gonna get the job done. All right, hope to see you next time on Carrots and Cocktails. Cheers!
There you go, the espresso martini. Every time we go to a restaurant, for some reason, the ladies always want to have this for dessert. So
It's
I guess it
good.
makes sense because you got the little coffee hit and the alcohol hit.
Our friend Dan's having one over here.
Yeah,
Him and Louie.
I can speak for it.
Yeah.
Tasty, huh?
Yeah, so Dan, thank you so much. We always enjoy, I learn something about you every time we get together, and he's such a talented man with his silver jewelry, but he also, like I said, he paints, he watercolors, a very creative man, and he's worked very hard all these 39 years to be at the Village of Yesteryear. That's a long 10-day run.
That's
That's
a tough 10 days.
11 days now.
11.
12,
Is it?
12-hour days, too.
It's tough. It's tough. So,
That's where the bags under my eyes came from.
well, it's tough. It's like, I guess it just takes a little longer to recover
Yes.
each year, doesn't it? We're just going to finish up tonight. We're doing our Made in North Carolina series for the month of October, so we'll have a fun artisan on here next week. Just wanted to show you a few. We've got a whole new collection of our silver curated pieces from our curator from, she was in Taxco, I think June and July, I don't remember. And she goes for 2 months at a time. So just briefly, everything I have on tonight are new pieces. This is the turquoise necklace. I may have shown this a week or two ago, but
It's a beautiful piece.
this is available. This is $1,250, and this is, I think this is Sonoran turquoise also. Dan was
Dan was
showing you.
admiring it earlier.
It is.
That's
She's
nicely made on the backside too. Show 'em
yeah.
that.
It's just finished beautifully,
Yeah.
but feels really good on too. It's heavy, but it's very comfortable.
So Dan, making silver jewelry the way you have embezzled like that, is that a good value right there, do you think?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is.
Yeah, it's a lot of time involved in that.
Finding turquoise that color is difficult to do. Turquoise has really been mined out
Yeah.
in so many places.
Yeah.
That rich color is.
That's what she's saying. It's harder and harder to find this beautiful. What's the word? The typical what you think of in turquoise. There's turquoise from overseas, but it's more green and it's
That color is
yeah.
just beautiful.
We got this ring also from her. This has a pretty little filigree detailed bezel. This is going to retail around the $250 price range, and it has an adjustable shank on the back. Russ will size these and make the back solid.
If you want.
But I really tried to buy as much turquoise as I could this time, and she really had a hard time finding pieces. The earrings. These are really fun. These are triangular and they're backed. So every little surface of this that has the details. These are going to retail for $239.
Maybe a lantern or something.
A lot of work in that.
Yeah. I like how it kind of shows the dark and the light. So, over the years we've had some of the black tourmaline pieces. I love this bracelet. I think it has a great unisex quality to it. But you know, I've got on black today. I kind of felt kind of sad. I've been really sad, and my heart is really heavy for what's going on in the mountains right now. So
Very
I
difficult.
kind of influenced a lot about what I picked out, but. This is great. This would fit a man or a woman, and this is available for $129. We've also got, this is a Guillermo Araguay ring. He does very modern type of designs. This is inlaid black onyx, which I love this. This is just definitely a statement ring.
Yeah.
Can you see it across the room?
Oh, yes, sure.
Yes. Across the room. This is available for $300.
The perfect black and white jewelry, right?
Yeah.
A silver ring
Yeah.
with black in it.
This one, just nice, clean, smooth tops. It's nothing that'll pick your clothes. And we got I bought Antonio Escorgia. If you watch us regularly, you know that he's one of my favorite artisans from Taxco. She was able to get Antonio to make some more. She's trying to get him to make more 14 karat gold pieces. Love. I mean, we have swooned over these earrings, the women here in the office. These are 14 karat tops with the wire overlay to show the texture. And this is beautiful rainbow moonstone with the Ethiopian opal. So the coloration of that is so beautiful, organic, but yet neutral at the same time. These are available for $2,400. And again, he's one of my artists too. I don't think he's going to make jewelry forever. I try to buy his pieces when she has them. These are in sterling silver. And this is, I thought this was a great fall colorway. This is black moonstone with the Ethiopian opal.
First time I've seen black moonstone.
Comes in different colors. We always say we sell a lot of the moonstone, but it's hard to beat. It goes with everything, so.
It's kind of iridescent, like the white.
I'll just show you a few more items and then we'll sign off. We also tried to buy the pearl pieces when we see them in silver. It's quite popular. Again, you know, you can't beat the neutrality of the design. But these are all freshwater pearls. You've got them different shapes. The artist has made each bezel. A lot of these are solid backed, but just such a lovely sturdy piece. I thought this would be really beautiful bridal piece, wouldn't it? If you had somebody that was doing more kind of a themed, maybe bohemic or kind of a different themed wedding. This would be beautiful, beautiful for a wedding. We have different earrings and pieces that go with this.
Really cool.
But that's $650. And again, it's just nice, sturdy feel. And the last piece I'm going to show you, I love this. Actually, when Wendy got here, our curator, she had this on, and we, in true fashion, usually buy off her neck what she has on, but it's a little bit twisted there. The paperclip link is so popular in silver jewelry and in gold jewelry, and this is just a wonderful multi-strand. It's one, how many? 1, 2, what was it, 6, 5?
It's about 5 strands.
5 or 6. But this is just a really great statement piece. I've worn this in the office too. It's very comfortable.
It's a good looking piece.
Yeah, we do have some chains that are just single strands too. I buy these a lot this time of year because the single strand is a great piece for, you know, a teenager or a young person for Christmas maybe. So this is available for $995. The single chains are more in the $250, $350 price range, depending on how heavy they are. So,
If you hear some weird noises, our little dog Louie's playing with his ball behind us.
but I just love seeing what you made, Dan. Thank you so much. It would be hard for me to pick a favorite piece, but
The
I
dogwood leaf is incredible.
I've always loved dogwoods. I mean, I'm just, you know, just for the what it represents, our state, but also it represents Christ, and it reminds me of spring. Spring is my favorite time of year, and your detail on this is just lovely.
Incredible.
It's so
Maybe
beautiful.
sometime I'll bring back my personal collection of table pieces. Not anything anybody would have seen.
Yeah, I'd love to
would
see
be
that.
fun.
It would be fun.
I have a hummingbird that inserts in a flower, and he's feeding in that, and we move him around to several different flowers.
Oh my goodness. So
I have some crazy stuff.
put on a bunch of visitors. I told Dan right before you came in here, Russ, I said, Russ will be going, oh, I could set gemstones and that.
Yeah, where's that ring that you said you did?
This one.
I've actually,
Yeah, that one you'll be putting it in
I
there.
pulled 2 of his bracelets aside. I'm going to show a customer that wanted something made. I'm going to go ahead and show her Dan's pieces because I don't have to make it. I love these. I think she will flip over them.
Beautiful.
So.
Yeah,
So
good.
thank you so much for
Oh, yeah.
joining us. I know
Well,
you're
it was a pleasure to be here. I appreciate y'all sharing your time with me.
he's a family friend, and
Oh, yeah,
he's so
gosh.
busy trying to get ready for the state fair. So this time is valuable for him to be here. But go see him at the Village of Yesteryear.
Yeah.
And we thank you for joining us tonight. We'll be back next week. What?
Talk about donations.
Oh, I'm sorry. We mentioned the mountains earlier, and we have offered our studio to collect donations for the mountain for the disaster with the Hurricane Helene. Russ and I have done work with Samaritan's Purse and just going to these different places. Once they start getting shelters, dry socks, underwear, baby products were the most requested items that we needed. But they need everything. So we have a contact who will take items this weekend to the mountains. And if you want to bring anything by here, we'll even come get it at your house if need be. But Samaritan's Purse is a faith-based organization out of North Carolina. They were affected too
Bill
in the
Graham's
Montreat.
Franklin Graham.
The Billy
that's it.
Graham home is Montreat, and the Cove is there where they do a lot of retreats and training and that type of thing. But they are on the ground. They are equipped and ready to get boots on the ground and get out and help people. We had some amazing. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Some amazing moments where God put us in touch with people, and I almost just cry thinking about it. But anyway, Gabrielle has the contact up. They're a great group. If you just want to give money, people need money. They need everything. So
Also, too, the helicopter people flying in, they're in need of fuel. There's a GoFundMe page for that. I think you can look that up online. But that also is a huge help because they're having to fly. And then these are not the military. These are private individuals
people, yeah.
flying their own aircraft. So if you can help them out as well, that's also something that would be fantastic.
we've got some great, lovely people in North Carolina, and people are stepping up.
And around the country, they're coming from all over the place
Yes,
right now.
all
Can I throw in one more thing?
Sure.
I'm a regular
Yes.
blood donor at the Red Cross. Do platelets and have for 37 years. But I was making a donation yesterday over in Durham, and was talking to the people there, and they were talking about how busy they had been yesterday with whole blood donors coming in, which is great.
Yes, they need
But
everything.
what they were explaining to me though is that the reason that it's so great is because the donors that are in the mountain areas, there's a Red Cross in Asheville, they're not able to get in. They're in a mess right now. They're dealing with their own problems. So what that does is that means the patients that are dependent upon the blood products to stay alive,
Regular, but yeah.
we need to be supplying that inventory to the mountain people right now. Now they will come back later, but the Red Cross has networks all across this country, and they can get those hospitals, the ones that are open. There are some closed, but those hospitals are going to depend upon the rest of the state stepping up, and something as simple as rolling up your sleeve.
Yeah,
Yes, just
great point.
People can do that.
take a little bit of time. God
Yeah.
gave us this beautifully designed body, and
That's right.
you're giving life to somebody. So
Yep.
we're here to help any way that we can and get things out into the mountain community. We're happy to help. So
Please do what you can.
and thank you.
Yeah.
You have a long history with your silver, but also with working with the Red Cross and all of that. It's very commendable.
It's a wonderful experience that I've had there. I have met some truly remarkable
I
people.
bet. That keeps you-
I could put you to sleep with the stories.
Well, you need to write a book about that.
Oh well, yeah.
That's
That would
right.
be
Anyway,
good.
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So
we'll
we'll all
sign
three,
off this evening.
we'll all three say goodnight, and thank you for joining us. We'll be
Good night.
back next Tuesday at 7:00
With
Made-
more of
Made in North Carolina.
Exactly. Thanks for joining us tonight. Until we see you again, God bless you. Take care.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.